You're listening to Murder Not Murdering with Erin,
And Autumn,
a true crime podcast about murder and murdering.
but we are not murderers.
Well, hi, Autumn.
Hi.
I thought we should maybe touch on the kerfuffle.
I had a feeling you would do that.
It is honestly my favorite moment that's ever happened, I think, on the show so far.
I honestly thought that was what the saying was.
The funniest part about it is, in my mind, I thought it was comeuppance. I don't know why, but I thought it was comeuppance. And then I looked it up and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And it turns out it's comeuppance. But I just love that when you posted it on Instagram, you said, you better get some comeuppance for your enemies. They'll get what's coming to them. I was just like, now are we going to open a muffin store called Comeuppance? I feel like this might be our thing.
It is our thing. You can order the muffins. You can send them to anybody that you are having problems with.
They have little like bloody sugary knives that are in the middle of them.
Yes. Shards of glass.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll even put some cyanide in them, some capsule pills.
That would be nice. Just so that they bite into it and find these little trinkets.
Yes.
We'll have a whole Stabby Gym collection. It'll be great.
We're really making our name for ourselves.
I don't know. I feel like so far we've had a couple people reach out to us and they use some of our little like sort of catchphrases that we have now that we didn't realize we just say a lot.
Yes. But I think it's so fun when they do that.
Yeah. Old timey is definitely one that I say a lot, or we both say, oh, wait, it gets worse.
Yes.
Often throughout the episodes.
Yes. And I mean, it is, I really like the old timey. That one's a good one.
I love it gets worse. Cause I mean, that really is every episode. It does get worse.
It really does get worse.
But we're having so much fun and we love it.
Yes. We love murder, but not murdering.
So I'm super excited about the case that I did this week. It's old timey. It's also one that is a little bit more on the famous end. So stay tuned because Autumn's going to be up first with her case.
Yes. And I'm doing the murder of Skylar Neese.
All right, let's get into it.
On July 5th, 2012, Skylar Neese, a 16-year-old from Star City, West Virginia, returned to the apartment she shared with her parents, Mary and Dave Neese, after working the late shift at the local Wendy's. When she got home, she told her mom that she was tired and gave her a kiss on the cheek and let her know she was heading to bed for the night. The next morning, July 6th, Skylar's dad, Dave, came home on his break from work to let Skylar use the car.
Okay.
When he arrived home, she was not awake yet and her door was locked. He kept pounding on her bedroom door, saying, "Skylar, it's Daddy. Come on, if you want to borrow the car, you have to wake up and take me back to work." No answer.
I don't like this.
Well, also, how sweet is her dad that he drove there on his break from work to let her borrow the car?
Yeah, that's super nice.
So sweet.
I hope he doesn't turn out to be a murderer.
You'll just have to wait and see. No answer. He grabbed a coat hanger and popped the lock on the door. Teenagers can sleep hard, and he didn't have a lot of time before he had to be at work if she wanted to borrow the car.
Mm-hmm.
Once the lock is popped, he opens the door to wake her up, and to his surprise, Skylar's room is empty. Skylar was an only child who had a very close relationship with her parents, a popular girl at University High School who was an honor student that wanted to become a criminal lawyer. I kind of think I missed my calling. I really think I should. I know. I really think I should have gone into something along the lines of forensic and investigating. Mm-hmm. But she knew who she wanted to be as a sophomore in high school.
That's why we're podcasting a true crime podcast. We're dipping our toes in that water.
Yes. Her dad calls her mom and asks her if she knew where Skylar could be. He was getting worried. Mary did not seem very worried, but could tell that he was. So she took off from work to head home to help search for Skylar. Skylar was a very social girl, and she was always out and about somewhere. Birthday parties, slumber parties, etc. Mary suggests that he call a few of their daughter's friends to see if maybe they know where she is. He gives her best friend, Sheila Eddy, a call. She told him the last time she spoke to her was around midnight, but doesn't know where she is and hasn't talked to her since. He heads outside to have a cigarette and notices that Skylar's makeup stool was sitting outside of her bedroom window.
I don't like that.
Yeah. He walks over to investigate and notices that the window was open and the screen had been popped off. He immediately knew that she had snuck out.
Yeah.
Star City was a small town. Population in 2012 was just under 2,000 residents. The town had an 11:30 p.m. curfew to keep kids out of trouble and to stop them from going to parties or drinking and driving. You can probably guess that this led to kids sneaking out of the house at night.
Of course, it's like Footloose.
Yes. Or, sleeping in parking lots and
don't tell
telling
them no.
telling people that you had to go to church very early in the morning and returning home.
We were just sitting at home having Bible study.
Yes, we were very good little girls sitting at home.
Sorry, Carrie.
Yes, sorry. We were. That never happened. Never.
No, we didn't totally sneak out all the time. It's fine.
No. Skylar was no exception to sneaking out. She had snuck out with her best friends, Sheila and Rachel, to smoke pot and go for rides around town more than a few times.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Those girls knew how to have a good time. When Mary gets home, they come up with a plan. They knew that Skylar had to work at 4 p.m. and she didn't miss work, even if she was sick. Their phone rings just after 4 p.m. It was her work, asking her parents if she was going to be coming into work today.
Now they know something's really wrong.
Yep. That's when Mary began to worry as well.
Mm-hmm.
She knew something wasn't right. Dave called 911 and reported Skylar missing. When the police get there, they start searching for clues. Her cell phone charger was left in the room. She didn't bring her toothbrush, her contacts, a change of clothes. Nothing was missing from the room. It looked like she had just stepped out for a bit and was planning on coming back home soon.
Yeah.
She hadn't packed or planned for an extended stay of any kind. While the police are there, Skylar's mom gets a phone call. It's Skylar's best friend, Sheila. She told her, "Mary, I have to tell you the truth.
Uh-oh.
Skylar, me, and Rachel all snuck out last night." Relieved that now she had confirmation of what they already knew,
yeah,
Mary asked Sheila where they had left Skylar last night, assuming that she had stayed the night with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila insists that she did not leave her anywhere, that around 11:30 p.m., she took Skylar home. She said they had gone to Morgantown, the next city over, and smoked pot and hung out. She went on to tell her that Skylar had asked her to let her out down the street so that she would have less of a chance of waking up her parents and then finding out that she had snuck out. That's when the panic really started to set in for Mary.
Yeah, of course.
If they had let her out down the street, where was she now?
Yeah.
Could she have been kidnapped from where she was let out on her way home?
I mean, it's very possible.
Right. Like, where is my daughter? Sheila heads over to the Neese home to help Skylar's parents look for their daughter. Sheila Eddy and Skylar have been best friends since they were 8 years old. Everyone that knew them described them as joined at the hip, that they enjoyed spending time together. And if you were looking for one of them, you would find both, which kind of sounds like you and I in high school.
A little bit, yeah.
Like our name was just Erin and Autumn.
Totally.
While police are there asking questions and searching her room, Mary remembers that they have security cameras in the apartment community. And so they go to ask the landlord if they can view the camera footage to see if there's anything on there to help them find where
Absolutely.
Skylar is.
Yeah,
Like, hello, let's see what really went down.
for sure.
Police, the Neeses, and Sheila review the footage together. It shows Skylar running to a car around 12:30 a.m., what looks to be a light-colored four-door sedan. This would have been about an hour after Sheila said that she dropped Skylar off around the corner. Skylar then gets in the backseat of the car, and the car drives off. The footage is too grainy for them to get a plate or a look at who is driving the car.
That's a shame.
Mm-hmm. The police asked Sheila if that was her car and if she got the time wrong by chance.
Mm-hmm.
She is adamant that that car is not hers and she does not know who that car belongs to. An Amber Alert is not issued at this time because police believe that Skylar may be a runaway and must wait 48 hours before issuing under the regulations of the law.
Oh, that's excruciating.
Right. 48 hours.
Yeah.
That's a long time to wait when
really
your daughter.
It's a long time to wait when so many variables can happen during that amount of time.
Right. If she's been kidnapped, they need to act fast.
Totally.
They need to know where she is.
Absolutely.
They just witnessed her willingly get into the backseat of a car after sneaking out. The footage shows her alone, not under any distress, running towards the car. Her parents are not convinced at all that she ran away. That wasn't their daughter's personality. She was very responsible and they were very close. Like my parents would never believe I would have ran away.
No, you definitely would have showed up at Claire's for your job shift that day.
Yes, I would have. I would have been there as a responsible 16-year-old ready to pierce some ears.
That's right.
The family creates missing posters and plasters them throughout the small town. Her dad creates a website called Team Skylar, and they distribute her poster to the local news outlet. They start to pick up the story, and it starts to spread on Facebook like wildfire.
I'm sure.
Sheila spends almost every day with the Neeses, searching for Skylar, going door to door, asking everyone if they have seen her. She was positive that they were going to find her and that everything was going to be okay. The Neeses' hearts are breaking since seeing how upset Sheila is over Skylar missing.
Yeah.
At one point, she asked Skylar's mom why she would do something like this and why she would leave her like that. Rachel Schoaf, Skylar's other best friend, is away at church camp. Rachel was newer to her friend circle, joining them their freshman year of high school. But the girls thought of themselves as the Three Musketeers. They did everything together. The girls had a reputation of being partiers. This included drinking or smoking marijuana on a regular basis. 4 days later, on July 11th, 2012, her parents get a call from the police saying that there was a sighting of Skylar in North Carolina with a red-haired girl. Rachel Schoaf was a red-haired girl who could have snuck away from church camp to run away for a bit with Skylar.
That would make sense.
This was a very credible sighting. Her parents pack up to head the 600 miles to North Carolina to bring their daughter back home. Before they were able to get too far, they received the news that it wasn't Skylar and it wasn't her friend Rachel.
Oh, I got hopeful for a minute.
I know. They were really hopeful too. They were all packed up. They were heading the 600 miles. They thought they were bringing their daughter home.
Yeah.
2 months later, in September, school is back in session, but Skylar has not come home yet.
Oh my God.
Rumors start about Skylar having an older boyfriend that she hid from her parents, and that she could have ran away with him or partied a little too hard with him, leading to an overdose. People are giving a name of 20-year-old Derek Conaway, a boy with a reputation of throwing parties and breaking the law with his younger brother, Dylan. Around the time Skylar went missing, there was a bank robbery, and the prime suspects are the Conaway brothers. Could Skylar have been involved in something she shouldn't have been, or known too much and Derek needed to silence her? Police question the Conaway brothers, but are not able to prove anything at the time and are not able to make any arrests as of yet. However, they do make a connection that the brothers do know the three girls, as Sheila had dated the younger brother Dylan for a period of time.
Okay.
Now that the kids were back in school, the police start getting anonymous phone calls and tips that the night Skylar snuck out of the house, there was a party the town over in Blacksville where there were drugs and heroin and marijuana.
Whoa, that escalated.
Yeah, like I mean,
I was like, we were talking about weed and booze, and now it's heroin. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, wow, okay.
Heroin was mentioned in the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle. They needed to know more about this party. With Rachel being back from church camp, they went to question her, wanting to know if maybe she was at the party with Skylar. Rachel is noticeably very nervous and avoiding eye contact. Police could tell that she was for sure hiding something. They are starting to believe that something happened at that party and that Rachel is too scared to talk about it. She denies going to the party with Skylar or being with her past 11:30 p.m. the night she went missing. Detectives have been going over every frame of the surveillance footage of Skylar in the apartment complex, and they keep coming back to the car. Sheila owns a 2006 four-door silver Toyota Camry.
That fits the description of the car.
But she keeps insisting that that car is not hers. They start looking at other possible cameras that might be able to get a better look at the car. There is a convenience store, a brand new convenience store.
With new cameras.
With much newer cameras than the apartment complex. They are able to review the footage, and the car that picked up Skylar from the apartment complex is seen driving in the direction of the apartments and then driving in the direction of Blacksville, not Morgantown, which is where Sheila stated the girls had snuck out to.
Yeah.
Skylar's and the girls' cell phones also show that they were in Blacksville the night of Skylar's disappearance.
So Sheila's a liar.
Right. Like it seems that they really did go to that party and they did take Skylar with them.
I was thinking it was kind of odd that Sheila's been so close to everything throughout this whole time.
Well, also, why are you denying that's your car?
Mm-hmm.
There's footage of it.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you just say, oh, I was there. I must have had the time mixed up and it would have been over.
Right. Police are convinced the girls went to that party in Blacksville, and they are afraid to admit to being out past the 11:30 p.m. curfew and being at a party. They feel the girls don't want to be in trouble, and they feel something happened to Skylar at that party. In December 2012, 6 months that Skylar has been missing.
Oh my God.
Rachel's mom calls the police, saying her daughter is running up and down the street, yelling, "I can't be controlled." She was worried about her daughter's mental well-being.
Of course, yeah.
And they check her into a mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that whatever burden Rachel is holding, she's cracking.
Yeah.
6 days later, she is released, and she asks to be brought to the police station, that she has something she needs to tell them.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why she was so nervous and standoffish earlier.
Right. And that she's just so agitated, and then she's running down the street screaming something. There's something clearly wrong. She's definitely ready to talk about something.
Yeah.
When Rachel arrives at the station, they have a pretty good sense of what she might be about to tell them. They have been set on the theory that the girls all went to a party in Blacksville and that something happened to Skylar at that party, that she overdosed, and that they had helped dispose of her body. What actually comes out of her mouth, no one was ready for. Sitting in the interview room, Rachel blurts out, "We stabbed her."
What?
Yes. According to court records, Sheila and Rachel had been planning this for months.
What?
In the trunk of Sheila's car, they had paper towels, bleach, cleaning clothes, a pair of clean clothes, and a shovel.
Oh my God.
They also brought kitchen knives with them that they concealed on themselves. The night Skylar went missing, Sheila and Rachel had convinced her to sneak out of her apartment to go smoke pot together and hang out. At 12:30 a.m., Skylar climbed out of her window and ran across the parking lot to get in the back seat of Sheila's car. They drove to their usual spot just outside the Pennsylvania border. Once there, they get out of the car and Sheila acts like she forgot her lighter. Skylar offers to go get hers from the car. Sheila and Rachel begin to count to 3, their agreed upon signal.
Oh my God.
The girls begin to stab Skylar, who attempted to run before Rachel tackled her to the ground.
Oh my God.
Neese was able to wrestle the knife away for a moment and cut Rachel on the knee before Rachel quit and Sheila took over. They stabbed Skylar over 50 times.
Oh my God.
They didn't stop until there was pure silence.
That is some very intense rage.
They also said her last words were why.
That's what my words are right now.
Like, how the hell?
I don't know how you could do that to your friend.
Your best friend. They have been best friends, at least Sheila and her, since they were 8 years old.
Yeah, nearly sisters.
Yes, their families knew each other. It's just, what?
Heartbreaking.
The girls drug her body over to the side of the road where they had a plan to bury her body. However, the road was near a creek and the ground was rocky and way too hard to dig. Instead, they covered her body with sticks and rocks and branches and dirt. Once they were done, they grabbed their supplies out of the back of the trunk and began to clean up any evidence of what they had just done.
Oh my God.
They disposed of their clothing and returned home. A tweet made by Sheila at that time read, "We really did go on 3."
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Right? Are you joking?
Like I want to say psychopath, but more of a sociopath. That is
Yes.
awful.
She's boasting.
Yeah. After she's been spending all this time with the family, that is sick.
So incredibly messed up.
Yeah.
January 16th, 2013, Rachel leads investigators to Skylar's body. However, the police do not announce that the body was found until March 13th, 2013. May 1st, 2013, Rachel Schoaf pleads guilty to second-degree murder as part of her plea agreement to avoid the death penalty. She is sentenced to 30 years in prison with the possibility of parole in 10 years.
Oh my God. That does not
10
feel like enough.
years.
Yeah.
And this was in 2013.
Yeah.
So
that still doesn't seem like enough.
2023, she could get out.
Oh my God.
On September 4th, 2013, Sheila Eddy is publicly identified as the second perpetrator in the murder of Skylar Neese. It is announced that the now 17-year-old will be tried as an adult. She pleads guilty to first-degree murder to avoid the death penalty and is sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 15 years.
No.
Yep. Not that long to me.
Not when you've done something so heinous in the amount of time that it took to put the whole thing together and plan it all out and then boast about it on the internet.
Yes. Skylar's father made a statement at the hearing, speaking on behalf of my daughter because she can't be here. We are no longer a family. You can see the faces of the killer, but you can't see Skylar's face. You can't imagine how Mary and I now feel. The person sitting before you, Skylar's so-called best friend, took her away from us without any remorse or feelings.
Mm-hmm.
An Amber Alert was never issued for Skylar. She didn't meet the 4 requirements for them to issue the announcement to the public. Her parents helped pass Skylar's Law. It changed the law to be able to report a teenager missing, even if they suspect they are a runaway.
Yeah.
There's no longer a 48-hour period that you have to wait before reporting them.
Thank goodness.
Even though it wouldn't have done any good because Skylar was dead before her parents even realized she was missing.
Absolutely. But if it can help someone
yes,
else.
Exactly. But if it can help save someone else's life, then her death wasn't in vain.
Absolutely.
Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf are currently in prison at the Lakin Correctional Center in West Virginia, which kind of bothers me that they are able
Together?
to be in the same prison. I'm
No.
not sure if they are able to visit with each other, but it just
Yeah,
rubs me the wrong way if they are.
it does. Because in my mind, they're hanging out in the yard together and
Just,
reminiscing about their murder.
yes, they're like joy killing.
Yeah.
The only reason the girls have ever given for why they killed their best friend, we just didn't like her anymore.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
That is literally it. No explanation, nothing. Just we didn't like her anymore.
That it makes me enraged.
This story broke my heart. Like this poor girl.
Well, and I just don't feel like they got their comeuppance.
No,
You
these
know what I
women
mean?
did not get their comeuppance.
But for real though, I really feel like they did not get a harsh enough sentence for
No.
a premeditated murder.
Yes, they had been planning this for months.
And then to go on and boast about it and to be around the family and all
Mhm.
of those things combined just makes me feel, I mean, of course, I don't know the legality of everything, but it just feels like there's just not enough that they can even have parole. How can you
Yes.
reform that?
No. In such a short amount of time, I feel as well. 10 years, 15 years.
That
Those
is not
girls,
enough.
those girls were only 16 when this happened. Like they're going to be in their early 30s. That is a lot of life left ahead of them that they
Mhm.
did not give to Skylar.
Yeah. And then what's going to happen? You know, I mean,
They didn't. What if they don't like their new friend?
well, I mean, they committed murder and then they're going to be let back out into the general population. And then what's going to happen? I mean, they were 16 then. I don't know how you reform that. Or
No.
maybe I don't know how much therapy you can do or what can be done to change someone whose
Yeah.
nature was to murder someone at that age
Yeah.
because they didn't like them.
And continue the whole time Sheila was there, just tweeting things like, I miss you, Skylar. I love you forever, best friend. While she knew that her
That
friend
makes
was
my
dead.
that makes my skin crawl.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that just shows exactly what her father said, that she has no remorse.
You know what, Autumn, as we've been talking about how we always seem to have a connection with ours, and we thought tonight we for sure wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a 16-year-old murderer.
Stop.
Swear to God.
That is so crazy.
I know. I was just like, as I was sitting here, I was like, oh no, we do. I thought for sure we didn't because you gave me a hint in
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we'll say like, hey, don't look this up, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you had given me a little bit of a hint. So I thought for sure we had no connection until now.
Oh my, that is so awesome though. I feel like it's just destined.
It just is what it is. We have ESPN.
Yes, ESPN for sure. And I know that's not the right saying.
Yes, we are joking. I promise. Well, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, you'll be hearing from me. Welcome back with Erin and Autumn. Hey, Autumn, did you want to mention your sources?
Yes, I did. I got my sources from Wikipedia, Murderpedia, and a show on the ID channel called See No Evil.
Okay. I just want to make sure you got those guys in there.
Yes.
So tonight I'm going to be telling you the story of Grace Marks. And this is a little bit of a famous case, especially since there's a book called Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, and it was turned into a mini series that was featured on Netflix. I was kind of hesitant to cover this because of the notoriety, but it's a really fascinating case and it's very controversial because there are so many theories. So I figured I should probably go for it. This was also a listener request. So if you do have a case you would like Autumn or I to cover, please email us at info@murdernotmurdering.com or DM us on Instagram. We've got lots of ways to get a hold of us.
Yes, and we love hearing from you.
We do. I'm going to do a quick disclaimer real quick. Because this is an old-timey case, it does have outdated terms such as lunatic and insanity. And I know that these can sometimes be a trigger, so I just wanted to put that out there. And also, normally, I let the story unfold as I go with the, it gets worse moment. However, because of the extensive intricacies of this case, I'm going to let you know that in 1843, Grace Marks and James McDermott were charged with the murder of the deaths of their employer, Captain Thomas Kinnear, and fellow housekeeper Nancy Montgomery. The question of this story is, was Grace actually involved or merely an unwitting accessory? All right, here we go.
Ready.
Yeah. Grace Marks was born in Northern Ireland in 1828. She had 8 siblings. Her father was an abusive alcoholic, so not a winner. And the family immigrated to Canada in 1840 when she was just 12 years old. Her mother unfortunately died en route and was buried at sea. When Grace was 16 years old, she started working as a maid for Captain Thomas Kinnear for a monthly pay of $3, which would have been around
Big spender.
a month, $3 a month, which
Oh.
would have been about $90 our time. So that's still not very much money to survive on. But Grace was hired to assist the housekeeper, Nancy Montgomery. 22-year-old James McDermott had also been hired only days before Grace, and the two workers took an immediate liking to each other. Almost immediately, Grace disliked fellow maid Nancy Montgomery, and she became bitter and filled with resentment towards her. The thing is, it was not disclosed that Nancy was a lot more than a housekeeper to Captain Kinnear. She spent a lot of time with him, slept in his bed when he was home, and she ordered the staff around as if she was the lady of the house.
Okay.
James McDermott, in his confession, said, Grace and the housekeeper used to often quarrel, and she told me she was determined, if I would assist her, to poison both the housekeeper and Mr. Kinnear by mixing poison with porridge. I told her I would not consent to anything of the kind. But now, this idea was out in the open, that this was something Grace was plotting. And at this point, Grace had told James that when the captain returned from his trip, he was planning to fire James. She also told James that he was a coward, and that's when he reluctantly accepted the proposal of murder. So while the captain left on July 27th, they began to plan the entire thing out. James decided to follow the idea Grace had to kill Nancy first. He tried several times, but he lost his nerve. The next morning, Grace whispered to him, "Aren't you a coward?"
What?
Mm-hmm. And that was said by James, quoted in the book by Susanna Moody called Life in the Clearing versus the Bush, published in 1853. While Grace went out to milk the cows, James whacked Nancy in the back of the head with an axe. Then he threw her body down the cellar and closed the hatch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The thing is, she wasn't dead. So sneaking down the ladder into the cellar, Grace and James were horrified to find her dazed and confused and awake. James lunged towards her, and he and Grace strangled her to death with a scarf. They then dismembered the body and hid her under a large tub. It was noted in Nancy's postmortem that she was pregnant at the time of her death.
No.
Yeah. About midday, Captain Kinnear arrived home. He was worried about Nancy, and it was not normal for her not to be there. So he waited for her return. After 7 p.m., James lured the captain into the kitchen with the story of a damaged saddle. Upon hearing a gunshot, Grace, as it said during her confession, I ran into the kitchen and saw Mr. Kinnear lying dead on the floor and Mr. McDermott standing over him. The double-barreled shotgun was laying on the floor. She then said James took a shot at her and she ran away. The police later confirmed that her story as they found a round in the door jamb. So he definitely did take a shot at her. But both James and Grace claimed that each of them wanted to steal the large bundle of cash that Captain Kinnear was bringing home. While I harnessed the riding horse into his new buggy, Grace collected all the valuables in the house, James said to policeman Mackenzie. You know, sir, we got the safe on board the steamer in Toronto, but owing to an unfortunate delay, we were apprehended. So their grand plan of escaping to New York was over. Weirdly, to me, it seems strange, but Grace was running away and boarding a ship with James, even though he had taken a shot at her.
Yeah, like I'm not getting into any kind of situation where I'm next to the person who's trying to kill me.
No, and their whole plan was to make it to New York City.
Yeah, that's a far trip to be with somebody who just took a shot at you.
Yeah, well, and they killed 2 people. Anyway,
yes, I mean that's just a minor detail.
just a little thing. Found guilty at trial on November 3rd, 1843.
What?
Yeah, surprise.
Surprise. My
James
birthday.
Right. I know, right? I was thinking the same thing. So, well, not 1843 though.
No. I mean, I could. I look very youthful.
You do. So James was sentenced to hang on the 21st for the death of Captain Thomas Kinnear. And at Grace's trial the next day, she was also issued the decree of hanging. She fainted upon hearing the news, and the judge then issued mercy to the jury, and she ended up getting life in prison. No one was on trial for the death of Nancy Montgomery, and her case was never pursued.
What?
Yep. They only charged them for Captain Kinnear's death.
So he only mattered. She didn't.
Guess so. Now, Grace's courtroom behavior was baffling. She wore clothes stolen from Nancy Montgomery, and she remained stoic and unfeeling throughout the whole trial until the end when she fainted. She was wearing Nancy Montgomery's fucking clothes in court. I can't even.
Ballsy.
Ballsy. Okay, sorry. Quick sidebar there.
Deep breath.
I think it's also important to point out that she was a 16-year-old girl, but her behavior was still very baffling. She had also given 3 conflicting accounts of what had happened, and James had 2 different accounts of what had happened. Both of them blamed each other. Some believed that she was innocent, and many thought she was insane. She spent time at the Kingston Penitentiary until approximately 8.5 years into her sentence, when she began to exhibit signs of insanity. Noted by Kathleen Kendall in Beyond Grace, Criminal Lunatic Women. It's a book.
Interesting.
So, vaulting from peaceful to rowdy, from overly happy to mired in depression, Marks also endured daily illusions, imagining that she was seeing strange figures invading her. She sleeps really badly and wanders about her room for most of the part of the night, often in search of her false illusions. And that was in Kendall's book, but quoted from the Kingston Penitentiary Medical Registry. So she was then sent to the Toronto Lunatic Asylum, where she was treated for 1.5 years and deemed a criminal lunatic. She was also one of Canada's first declared female criminal lunatics. Not that that's something that we want to be braggy about, but it is a fact.
Sorry. True.
Yeah. She returned to the Kingston Penitentiary after the superintendent suspected her of faking the insanity. There are records to show that Grace became pregnant during her time at the asylum, and the people that she had most access to her were doctors. So, was she faking it, or were they just trying to send her away because she was in the family way? I don't know. The other interesting thing is when she was at the asylum, it was treated like a tourist attraction, and people could come in and request to see her, and she would be trotted out for them to see as if she was an attraction.
What?
It is so fucked up.
I'm sitting here trying to imagine what that even looks like.
They would just come to the asylum and say, I'd like to see her, and I assume pay money.
And
And
then
they
they
would
just,
bring her out and they would see her in person.
what?
I know. It was fucked up back then. They didn't have murder shows
Yeah.
to watch on TV.
I mean, I guess that was just touche, touche. I have nothing to say
Right.
now.
So
Guilty.
she served the next 20 years at the Kingston Penitentiary before she was pardoned and released in 1873 after several people petitioned for it. She then moved to New York and took the alias of Mary Whitney, who was the name of a deceased friend of hers. She claimed to inhabit her body at times. There was also a speculation that Grace had actually died and Mary Whitney assumed her life, but there wasn't really any evidence in any of my research to support this. It seemed to be just a rumor. No
Yeah,
matter
that's
what.
kind of extreme rumor there.
Yeah. No matter what, Grace was haunted by what happened, whether she was the mastermind or she was duped by James to help him commit murder, or she was just suffering of her own mental health. Once she arrived in New York, the paper trail just ends there. So she left, changed her name, and moved to New York, and we have no other information about her. Ultimately, no one knows the truth of what happens except for Grace Marks. So to this day, there's no clear consensus of her guilt. No one really knows. And also, no one's completely blameless in this either, because both she and James committed to help one another with the murders.
Right.
So
It was like a murder pact.
Yeah. Even though each blamed the other of being the mastermind, what is clear is that at that time period, James was favored to be the killer or the mastermind because they didn't believe a woman could be capable of murder, which
Oh,
makes
honey.
it makes the feminist inside of me be like, we can do anything a man can do.
Yes, 100%. Don't
And then I'm
pass us
also like,
up.
I'm also not lobbying for women killers.
No.
So,
And I'm
but
not trying to say that we would
are
do that
equal.
either.
We are equally demented and capable of the same fucking murder.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. But no matter what, the case of Grace Marks has captivated so many over the years. The book Alias Grace has won numerous awards, and the miniseries is very, very highly regarded. I did not watch the miniseries yet, but I'm going to. But
Me too. I have not watched that.
I didn't want to watch it since they had taken some liberties and there were fictional characters in it, and I didn't want that to skew my perspective. So, I mean, I feel like if I watched it, I would get heavily invested in the characters. It's a miniseries. There's several episodes, you know?
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to let that change the facts that I know, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So my sources were murderpedia.org, museumhack.com, smithsonianmeg.com, and annamazzola.com. I did like a ton of research on this one because it is very well known, and I wanted to make sure I had all the facts correct.
I honestly love how committed you are to these old timey cases. And there's so much research that has to go into them. And I don't know if people really appreciate that because it's not easy finding information on something so old.
No, it is a little bit harder. And there are a lot of conflicting stories. So when you go to look things up, I usually check, I don't know, 5 to 10 websites to make sure that the information that I'm finding is consistent throughout.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of reading.
But I know you really love that. And it really shows. And these stories that you're telling are so interesting and fascinating. And I've never heard them. And I know I say that a lot, but I honestly, it's kind of hard to find cases that I've never heard of. And every time you find one.
I mean, I think this one's just really interesting. I also find it interesting that we have 16-year-olds, a pact for murder
Yes.
between several people. It's
And
just
they
kind of
don't
weird.
really give a real reason.
No, we didn't. Well, I mean, we knew that Grace resented Nancy and she didn't like that she acted like the lady of the house and was ordering her about, but that's no reason to kill anybody. And
No.
the captain as well.
Yeah. And
But
the
I mean,
girls just didn't like her anymore. So,
well, I mean, we did have a bit of an answer for James and Grace because they said they were stealing all of his money and his belongings and they were going to New York. So that was the plan all along. It wasn't just,
true.
it started that they didn't like Nancy and then escalated into we're going to steal all their things, run away. And they almost got away with it. There just was a delay and they were then apprehended.
That's so mind blowing to me.
I know. And to have such detailed accounts of it, because James and Grace were trying to flip flop between who was the mastermind, they both told detailed accounts of what had happened. And that's pretty rare in these older cases to have a lot of information that way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I was lucky in that. I mean, lucky. You know what I mean.
Yes. You were lucky in murder.
I was. So I was happy to find out a lot of details, but I am looking forward to watching Alias Grace. I know it's been out for a while, but it's really, really people love it. They've talked about how great it is. It's highly rated by critics, and so I'm looking forward to it. I just didn't want it to skew what I already know because there's, like I said, fictional characters and liberties taken.
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally agree.
Yeah. One of the things too noted was her lawyer said that she was a very like kind of meek looking woman who had a really soft appearance and blue eyes, but that she had a deformity where her chin jutted out a little and it made her seem like she had a sinister look about her, which is like, that is so
Hmm.
rude.
We'll have to, do you have any pictures? We're,
There's no photographs, but
oh,
there are sketches.
we'll
I
put
don't
the
know those
sketches on
things.
Insta.
We will, but there's not really any, it's not real noticeable. There'll be a sketch of both her and James on there. It's just kind of shocking. And I don't know how or why no one was charged for Nancy's murder.
Yeah, they're just like later days, whatevs, Nance.
They axed her and threw her into a cellar and then choked her with a scarf. My God.
I mean,
And they're
that
just like,
isn't
she was
murder,
just a housekeeper.
right? Like that's exactly what it was.
That is
That
exactly what it
she
was.
didn't matter to anybody, apparently.
Just horrific.
It's awful.
Anyway, like I said before, if you are someone who enjoys old timey cases and have one for me, or you have something for Autumn, whether it's something current or something that has happened in the past, please send us an email at info@murdernotmurdering.com, or you can DM us on Instagram and we will respond really quickly.
Yes.
It's always nice to hear another perspective or hear something that someone else says, oh my gosh, I just wish somebody would talk about this one. So please do reach out to us. That is another episode of Murder Not Murdering. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.